Alright, so I went to go see Spider-Man No Way Home in theaters today, Friday, opening day. And all I have to say is I think this just replaced Thor Ragnarok as my favorite Marvel superhero movie. I don't count the Avengers, so Infinity War and Endgame, I don't count them as they're a big get-together of all the superheroes. So individually, it was originally Thor Ragnarok, but wow, the movie really hit different. At the moment, my most popular viewed video is Andrew Garfield basically denying his involvement with the film. It was just a dumb meme that I saw and I just spliced in Bruno from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in it, and it got a pretty decent amount of views when the first trailer dropped. So I kind of feel obligated to review this movie. So I'll try to do one without spoilers and one with spoilers. So this is the one without spoilers. The movie was really good. All the actors performed well. All the special effects and all the outside stuff, the computer digital stuff was amazing, especially with the Doctor Strange involvement. So I knew all the effects would have been are gonna be like really cool. The fighting was handled pretty good. Comedy wise, there were some good moments. I would say that there is one moment that I could have went without. Like, it has that like Marvel humor. I don't know how to explain it, but it has this Marvel humor where it tries to be funny, but it's like not really. But some people laugh, like mostly with family. All the villains that were introduced from basically, because there was no villain from this universe, from this Marvel universe. It's all from the Amazing and the Sam Raimi one. But all of them did perform really well. William Dafoe, Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, and the other two, the one who played Sandman and the Lizard, I forgot their names, but they all did really good. I think this movie really helped me like The Amazing Spider-Man. I like the first one. The second one is complicated, and I'll explain why later. But overall, this was a good, solid movie. The ending, the conclusion, leave us wondering what's next, and I think that's really good for a Marvel movie. The end credits, the ending of the movie, it's all good. So now that I stopped giving the non-spoiler version, I've done enough, so I'm gonna spoil basically the whole movie. Yeah, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in this movie. Of course, my most popular video has Andrew Garfield denying this, saying that, oh, don't cry wolf, and all this stuff, even though it was pretty obvious he was going to be in that movie. And also, I think there was like this hidden picture of Andrew Garfield wearing the suit, and it doesn't look like he was wearing the ones from the Amazing Spider-Man series. It looked really different. We all knew that they were going to be involved in the movie, and I think Marvel did a great job basically trying to hide the fact that is Tobey and Andrew going to be in the movie, because we all want Andrew and especially Tobey to be in the movie. And I think Marvel did a good job basically hiding it. You know, they hinted at it by having the main villains from their movies, Green Goblin and Doc Ock for Tobey, and the Lizard and Electro for the Amazing Spider-Man, Andrews. So this whole movie basically surrounds the ending from Far From Home, where Mysterio dies and basically puts the blame on Peter Parker and announces his identity. His identity is now in the public, and now he's public enemy number one. And his friends, his family, and Zendaya, MJ, his girlfriend, now have to suffer the consequences. And because of this, Spider-Man goes to Doctor Strange to get some help, but I guess he confuses Doctor Strange so much he messes up the spell and brings in people that know Spider-Man, which means he brought people from the other two universes that already knew Peter Parker's identity. Not the one that we're watching from the Marvel universe, but from the other universes. They basically try to round up all the villains, and before Doctor Strange said, let's just send them back to their original universe, but Aunt May says, well, Peter, you need to help them because they're villains, they were once good. And Spider-Man takes that advice and helps them and basically leaves Doctor Strange stranded in his like dimension and tries to help him. But this kind of bites Spider-Man and Aunt May in the ass, because William Dafoe, Green Goblin, basically backstabs them, pretends to be this innocent man, but the Green Goblin was still there, and he does kill Aunt May, which sucks. You know, she was a good character, you know, MILF, everybody likes her. Yeah. Poor Happy, you know. In the beginning of the movie, they were like going through this like semi like split up, like break, and then now she dies. Like, that has to suck. sucked for him. And then of course everybody and the villains, where they were like trying to cure them, they all went to his like condo. But yeah, that's when Spider-Man basically, he's at his lowest, and they bring in Toby and Andrew. They have this emotional moment which was really sad. I really liked it, of Andrew saying, he also failed people, failed to save Gwen Stacy, his lover, and the Toby version, I guess. I'm just gonna say the Toby and the Andrew version to separate the Spider-Man. And Toby was saying, I already found my killer and I killed him, but it didn't really do that much. It didn't bring him back, didn't bring Uncle Ben back. And of course they say the line, with great power comes great responsibility. And they basically helped all the villains. All of them got cured, I guess. They all realized, because they were all tampered with. Green Goblin had that like weird serum. Dr. Octopus had his chip fried, so it was the arms controlling him. Lizard, of course, got transformed into that and started believing that the lizards were, I guess, the master race, and Electro just wanted more power. And the Sandman, he was just like upset that he didn't get home. Like, he was just like, you know what, you don't have to fix me. I just want to go home and meet my family. And they did fix him, which was really nice. And at the end, they basically, I think they hinted that Toby was gonna die, because the Green Goblin had this like cool spike weapon that he had in his like wrist or something, and stabbed Toby with it. And we were all like, oh my god, Toby's gonna die. But he lived. But in the cost of like, I guess, fixing everything, because the whole universe was like breaking and colliding with each other, and we were seeing characters from other universes. Like, I think I saw Rhino, we saw Scorpion as well. We saw other characters like coming into their universe. And of course Peter Parker, Tom Holland, was like, you know what, this was all my fault. I want to fix this and just, let everyone forget about me. That's the price to pay. Doctor Strange, of course, made the spell, and everyone forgot about Peter Parker, which sucks, because the whole event, even Aunt May dying, that didn't fix anything. It's just the whole universe breaking was fixed, which sucks for Spider-Man. So he now has to reintroduce himself to MJ and Ned and everyone. They don't know who Spider-Man is now. And of course, J. Jonah Jameson is now like, Spider-Man's the menace. He's hiding behind a mask, because I think before that, since Spider-Man had Tony Stark's approval, he couldn't say anything about Spider-Man, especially when he was in space fighting Thanos. He really couldn't be like, oh, Spider-Man's a menace. But now that, they all forgot about Spider-Man and his identity, and I guess they still remember about Mysterio, they're all calling him a menace still. So, Spider-Man's now being that, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that, stops crime in New York. That's the end of the film. The post-ending credit has Eddie Brock from the Venom. He's there, I guess, remember when he was originally sent there. Now he's stayed there, and because of Doctor Strange's whole, I guess, spell, he got sent back to his universe, but he left a little bit of the symbiote. So I guess that's how they're gonna introduce basically the Venom character, that we're gonna have a new Eddie Brock, or maybe it's the same, I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure in the fourth movie we're gonna have symbiote Spider-Man, so that's gonna be cool. But remember in the beginning when I was talking about how this gave me new appreciation for the Amazing Spider-Man franchise? It pretty much did. It showed my appreciation for Jamie Foxx. He's a good actor. Showed my appreciation for the Lizard. I forgot that he was a pretty underrated villain. And it also showed appreciation for Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I forgot that, wasn't the typical Peter Parker as a nerd. He was just like a loner that's really smart. And it adds layers to his character, and how he's still, he doesn't forgive himself for not saving Gwen Stacy, his girlfriend, during the attacks from his Green Goblin. That was stupid. I will still admit that I didn't like that, because William Dafoe's a better Green Goblin. It's just that it was unnecessary. Also, it was me, or were they trying to do the Sinister Six, but they didn't bring 6 people, they just brought 5, so it's the Fearsome 5 or something. They could have brought in someone else. Mysterio was one of the villains, secretly, because he did expose Peter Parker, and this led to this big whole thing. So maybe we already did have the Sinister Six without even knowing. So yeah, that was my review. I give this film, I guess, 10 out of 10. We had to rate it. I would give this a 9.7 out of 10. It's really high up there. It's a really good movie. Was this part where Andrew and Toby appeared for the first time, and they had to add in Ned's grandma to do comedy, and it was okay. There was some parts that were funny, but they kind of overdid it. I know that they're teenagers and they're gonna be awkward, especially when their friend and boyfriend is over there saving the world, and this guy suddenly comes out and says, "Oh, I'm Peter Parker, I'm Spider-Man." But the whole grandma being there, and she's like, "No, clean up the webs." And I think she got flirty with Toby. I don't know. I guess that was something. It didn't need to be there. I'm not saying it was bad. It's just that it didn't need to be there. The film is a little bit long. It's basically almost 3 hours, but I guess if we wanted to see all of that transpire, we needed those 2 hour and 45 minutes, I think. But yeah, 9.7 film. I like this film a lot. Thank you, Andrew, for those views that you originally gave me. You know, I liked you as Spider-Man. It's just, you know, your second film, it was pretty bad. But thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.